in court for the closing arguments of his fraud trial. Trump's accused of exaggerating his wealth in financial statements given to banks and insurance companies and could be fined as much as $370 million. He's asked to give a closing statement himself, but the judge, Arthur Engoron, has refused.
I want to speak. I want to make the summation. At this moment, the judge is not letting me make the summation because I'll bring up things that he doesn't want to hear. And it's a very unfair trial. Nobody's seen anything like this. I don't think they've ever seen anything like this. We have a situation where a statute was used that doesn't give me a jury, so I have no jury. I really have no rights, and it's and nobody thinks it's constitutional. People, legal scholars are writing about it like it's something they've never seen before. So it's interference. It's political interference, and it's something that shouldn't be allowed.
I'm going to speak to Kristen Salumi, who's outside the courthouse in New York. I would imagine this is a tense time for both sides. What's been going on?
Absolutely. President Trump inside the courthouse as an observer now. As you just heard, the judge did not allow him to make his own closing argument. That is because the president and his attorneys would not agree to the conditions set forward by the judge saying that he would have to stick to evidence in the case just as a lawyer would in making closing arguments and not use it as a campaign speech. So now the president's attorneys are going forward with their final arguments in this lawsuit that was filed by New York State Attorney General Letitia James, a Democrat. It has been a highly contentious trial over 44 days. In the last hours, the police were called to the home. Hours before the trial got underway, police were called to the home of the judge because he had received threats after the president attacked him on social media last night. In the courtroom, the president's attorneys have been arguing, picking up on claims made by President Trump on his way into the court, speaking to reporters, saying that this was an attempt to get him by the prosecutor. The lawyers arguing that this trial was taken as part of a political agenda, arguing that while the attorney general has accused the president and his sons and co-defendants of outrageously inflating the value of their assets to secure more favorable terms in loans and insurance, that there was no evidence presented to that effect in the courtroom, that no one was harmed by any of the actions that the president took. He also called into question some of the witnesses that were called by the Attorney General's prosecution team here. So a very contentious case, but also spoke to legal experts. It's also a highly unusual case in that it is being brought under a state law that allows the Attorney General to go after someone with wide discretion for fraud in a business setting. Here's what that legal expert had to say.
This is not a typical trial. Typical fraud trials involve one person suing another because they were lied to effectively. This is different. This is the Attorney General suing on behalf of the people, arguing that the practices that the Trump organization operates under is so hurtful to the people of the state that he has to be precluded, or it has to be precluded rather, from practicing any further. So it's very, very unique, as is the statute under which this case is being tried.
And the judge has already issued a summary judgment in the case. He did so before the trial actually got underway, finding that the president and his other defendants in the case did, in fact, commit fraud. He heard evidence on 6 other related charges. He still has to issue a judgment on those related charges. He expects to do so before the end of the month. He has said a lot at stake for the president here. $370 million in punishment is what the Attorney General has requested, as well as prohibiting him from doing business in the state of New York by taking his business license away. This, of course, the home of the Trump empire.
Kristen, thank you very much. Obviously, we're going to be coming back to you as that case goes on over the next few hours. But for now, Kristen.